Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Hello.
hello, everyone.
You know who I am. I'm Darnell,
And I'm Angela
and this is
Garrison
Garrison House.
House.
And we had to put the screen up so y'all can see that it was Garrison House. I now know what that button is not doing, and I'm gonna make it. I'll fix that later. However, we have some great topics today. Let's get that up on the screen. Of course, it's welcome and greetings.
Yes.
We always say, hey, tag, share, invite, let everybody know the topic. It's the social media combo week, so you'll get a little bit of our lighthearted in some areas. We may go a little hard on certain things. We've have the we'll talk about one thing, the blackout, and I was
Yes.
like, in my mind, I'm going. So we read the blackout. I don't have the image in front of me because I was like, really? Basically, they didn't want us to shop certain stores for a certain period of time, and in my mind, I was going, really?
Well, yeah. So that is one of our topics. So we'll talk about that. Also, we'll be talking about, uh, I guess it's still on the same vein of the blackout and DEI.
That's the whole
So
purpose of the blackout was DEI.
it's interesting this year. We always try to have certain things, and we don't want to keep too serious, but sometimes it gets that way.
They put us there.
They right. Sometimes it get us there, and yeah, we have a lot to say about some things that are going on, and it's basically be more informative.
Yeah.
Also, before we finish going into our podcast here, we would like to give a shout out to our daughter. She is celebrating her birthday on March 3rd, and we just gonna love her and appreciate her, and just tell her, hey,
Hey, happy 22.
happy birthday to you.
It's interesting. I was thinking about this earlier today. She's 22 this year. We're uh,
Double digits.
yeah, double digits as well this year.
Technically, when she was born, we were double digits
Yeah,
too.
we
So,
were double digits when she was born.
ooh, that's an interesting
So
topic to talk about.
Yeah, we were double. We were triple. She was born on 333, and we were 33. So I guess we just told our age. Well, we were going on 33. So that was an interesting season.
Yes, in our life. I guess
Yes.
God always had a timing.
Yeah, now we're entering double grace, as they will say.
Mhm.
And we're very happy about this here year. We're going to do some things. We're going to try to get out more ourselves, because when your child is an adult, you just once I could say something like they're still in your pocket. So
She's been actually pretty good. She's
she's
kind
been
of stayed out of our pocket for a minute there, but
yeah.
but it doesn't matter if when you're still paying car notes, car insurance, and everything else.
We want to talk about that. We're going to talk about car insurance on our
Mhm.
probably hopefully next week. We'll bring that up. So you have to go to Cashmere to see that.
So yeah, GarrisonHousePodcast.com. We just
Yep.
want you to go over there, see our links to our different platforms that we do. Also, this quick shout out to we're going to be doing a possibly re-release of Hosanna the movie. If you did not know, myself, I am the script writer of Hosanna the movie, along with my husband. He is the executive producer, along with
Ryan Rutley,
Ryan Rutley. He's the
and
music
Byron Rutley,
the music producer,
Sharon, and
executive producer. And so we were thinking coming in these our Easter resurrection season here, we were wondering to re-release it. Now, Hosanna the movie has nothing to really to do with the walk of Jesus in his last days on the earth, physical earth. So, but however, it's a very good show. It's very family oriented, and so we would just like to think about re-releasing it. So if you are interested, we would like for you to go to indiemovietickets.com and register, and it's free to register. It doesn't cost you anything, and just a head count to see if you are interested and see who will be interested in doing this who are doing it. So we just kind of like you to do it. It's fun. It is a fun movie. People have been raving about it. People have seen it. So again, it's when 2 years ago we released it. This is the re-release of it coming in, and so many people didn't see the first time around. Many people haven't saw this second time because we did release it again last year.
they just hit the third time
So,
around.
so we just kind of want to know if you are interested. Just go ahead and reserve because look, we are independent filmmakers. So money counts on a lot of things, and but if you're interested, let us know, and we will go ahead and pull the trigger on that and open up theaters again for the re-release of Hosanna the movie.
Yeah, and we just with anything, we just don't want to, when you going ahead, and it's not like going to the theater and it's going to be free. We're not. It's not. Hey, Mr. Theater or Mrs. Theater manager or owner, we had this movie. Can you play it for free?
Right. No,
it don't work that way.
Right.
Now, Maumee, Ohio is a little different. That's a municipal theater. It's still a cost. However, everybody's charging a per seat cost to use their theater, so it's all good. We want to know who all is interested. It is still open on our website, indiemovietickets.com, which is one of our properties as well. For those who don't know, that is one of our visions we're hoping to birth here. It just with anything, it takes time. So we are working on getting that site up and running. And also, as usual, if you're interested in supporting our show, always go to leave a tip section on our website. I was joking with her saying I may actually one day give our Cash App. And yes, we do have a Cash App. The only reason we don't use Cash App is because the more you use it, the more that it can create issues. So it will, they can block your finance, basically shut you down if you get too much. So we just use our processing. We go through a processor and we utilize their services because we just don't want to get the drama from Cash App. But anyway, we're going to get to our first topic and let's get to it. It's going to be Super Bowl halftime.
I know it's been a few weeks, and but however, because we had so much going on the last couple of weeks here, and Super Bowl. Do you want to go ahead and start that off?
Yeah, basically, a lot of people, the Super Bowl, basically, in my opinion, I stopped watching it after my man got sacked for the 5th time. I said, this game is over. I was on Team Philly anyway because, I have family in Philly. I have business I do in Philly. So I was Team Philly. And so, but when my man got sacked the 5th time, I was done. Then the halftime show. Mm-hmm. Now, some people are reading, I don't know where y'all over evaluating the halftime. I'm trying to figure that one out. First of all, y'all getting all this messaging from it. If that's your view, that's your view. I didn't get that. Because I understand that we had this beef going on. And so it was basically a diss track. Now, the performance stagecraft, I thought the stagecraft was phenomenal. I mean, it was some of the best stagecraft I've seen in a while. So I'm not going to diss him on that. It's just for me, I honestly didn't find it entertaining. I know some people say, oh, it's the greatest halftime show ever. And these are people who are under 40 or under 30 who don't realize that Michael Jackson actually was the greatest halftime show ever. You had Janet Jackson, who was the greatest. I would even say Beyonce was really good. Now, I was, when they said they were doing it at the Superdome, I said, now, hopefully this time the power don't go out because I said Beyonce's halftime was so powerful, it took the power out. So,
right.
This time we didn't lose power for an hour, I think a half hour, 45 minutes. But to me, the stagecraft was great. I think people did overread it. I think people read too much into it.
Right. Because if you didn't know,
Prince. I forgot about Prince.
Yeah, well, Prince was good too. Prince did it in the rain.
In the rain. What, singing Purple Rain.
Purple Rain. But with the Super Bowl halftime, I'm sorry, I just kind of
lost it. I'm watching her scrolling through here. I'm like, wow. I mean, I'm already put up what she's scrolling through.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Kendrick Lamar is it's more of a, what do you call, a social rapper who raps about things that's going on socially. But however, it was in society. So he is, he talks about what he was around him. So even though people were trying to say he was dissing America, he wasn't. And this is what it was just, these songs been out way before, was going right. But now Not Like Us just came out. But however, Not Like Us was a diss track going towards another rapper. And so, look, if you guys are blinded from social media from age 40 and up, or even 50 and up, you wouldn't have gotten it. And it was basically they were saying that three rappers were the big three. They were the number one. And he's like, no, I am me. I am number one, Kendrick Lamar. So it was this track going back. The other rapper gave his little side of it. Kendrick Lamar, same, no more than 3 minutes later, came back with another one. Mm-hmm. He came back, and so and finally the other rapper was like, he just threw his hands up, and he couldn't take. He's like, I'm done.
And he took it to court. He's taking it to court.
Right, right, and that's exactly what he's doing. And the thing too is, look, no matter as a African American or a Black person, however you want to call yourself, Kendrick Lamar actually took the copyright off that song.
Right.
And he allowed reactors who do music reacting to do it and get paid by doing it, by taking off that copyright. So you're talking about a lot of other Black creators who do reactions and everything. So that, I mean, so yeah. So if you, I mean, that's culture. I mean, he actually let them do that, and that was one of the things that was really good. And I mean, everybody has a legitimate reason why the suing comes in and stuff. You know, we all can work with you on that. But however, it really had nothing too much to do with the dissing of the America. I know because of Samuel L. Jackson came in as Uncle Sam.
Right. His name is Sam.
But how do you know? Right. It could be the fact that he was trying to uplift America too. Right. So, you know, everybody is kind of thinking that it was just people just being too deep and not enjoying it. It's he's a performer. He's not he's not really necessarily entertainer.
Right.
So as we were saying about Michael Jackson, Prince, Beyonce, Usher, and all those, they are entertainers, performers. They do a lot of stage performance. That's what they do in order to entertain the people. So that's kind of how it is too. And yeah, it wasn't too bad. You know, again, you just have to enjoy who he is and what he done. So yeah.
Yeah, like I said, stagecraft was great. I love the stagecraft. Everybody came out that car. It's like, okay, how many more people coming out that car? It was nice seeing pretty much, you know, some people may get, no matter where you're at. It was nice actually seeing an all-Black performance, a crew team. I think it's one white person on the team. I mean, it was nice. I'm not going to say it was anything wrong with it. Some people are upset because they said it was too Black. I mean, for me, at first, I had to think about it. So if I would have reacted on it right after, my view would have been probably different. But looking now, it's been a month later. I'm going to say it was actually nice to see that because it's not often that we see a all-Black performance. You know, so it was nice. However, some people can take it the other way. Well, you know, we're in the culture of DEIing and why aren't we showing multiculturalism? It does. That's the way he wanted to do his staging, and he did it the way he wanted to do it. Get over it. If you didn't like it, fine. I mean, hey, I didn't really understand a word that came out of his mouth. All I was looking at like, oh, I don't know what he's saying. However, it wasn't his fault because I've heard people repost it and they actually cleaned up the audio. And I'm like, oh, that's what he was saying. For the past couple of years, Super Bowl audio has been jacked. I mean, maybe I'm not sure if it's the way our system is set up here because we're surround sound. It has been pretty bad on the sound when it comes to processing the sound. But then when I listen to it in regular stereo, I'm like, okay, so maybe they just don't know how to process 5.1 or 7.1 audio. So yeah, the audio was not understandable. That's why some people say I didn't understand what he's saying because a lot of us have surround sound. They just haven't mixed the audio correctly in a couple years. So but after I heard it unmessed up, properly, people running it through their own processors, I was like, oh, okay, that's what he said. But anyway, we're going to go to the next part because this deals with, we did talk about, and we're going to go on over here to number 2 in boycotts.
Yes, the blackout.
Yeah, and this is, I'm going to give you all a little bit of what they were talking about. This is from Al Sharpton, and this is the DEI boycott. I have a lot I could say.
Yeah, because this one was February 28th. This would have been the blackout. This is a letter. This is the first step to counterattack the DEI versions. Now, We already discussed DEI and what that meant. We're going to talk about it after we go through these points here. This is what they're telling us not to, they want people not to do during that time of February 28th. Do not make any purchases, no online shopping or in store, which is the same as do not make any purchases. Amazon, do not go to Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy. They tell you don't even go to McDonald's or any other fast food restaurants.
We sure did.
Do not buy any gas, no major retailers. Do not use your credit or debit for any non essential spending. And try to buy all your needs before Friday. Now, if you're buying it before Friday,
right.
What's the purpose of blackout?
Yeah, no, because we're going to stop. I'm going to pause it right there for a second because to me, when I saw this, I was like, really? Really? You guys don't get it. Okay, first of all, we're trying to say, we're going to go after these corporations. I'm going to hit one of them. McDonald's and fast foods are, especially in urban areas, are Black-owned businesses. Now, for the most part, because these people are at this level, and they're not franchisers. They're really, when people make these decisions, these kind of
not necessarily Black owned, but they are franchisers.
Franchisers.
These are not corporate
not
McDonald's.
Corporate. And most
may own a corporate business, may own multiple McDonald's,
right.
but it's not a corporate
it's
McDonald's.
Not corporate. It's just like we can start if we had $1 million in cash right now, we could have a McDonald's franchise. Amazon, there's a lot of Black-owned businesses who Amazon fulfills their orders. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, who are you hurting? You said don't use your credit cards or debit cards. So, but you're telling me go to a Black-owned business. How I'm going to pay for it? I'm going to use my credit and debit card. That right there is like
contradicting yourself.
It's like you're really not
double talking.
You're right. So, who are you really hurting in this? Our daughter works at Walmart. Guess what they did? They sent her home early. Why? Because people didn't come in. So who did that hurt? The minorities who work at Walmart. Because guess what Walmart's not doing? They're not paying you. When they send you home, you're going home and you're not getting paid. So who did you hurt on that? So, but anyway, that's my opinion on this. You want me to do the last points or?
Go ahead. I can't see it because of
okay. And they said it's necessary only buy essentials of absolute necessary items such as food, medicine, and emergency supplies. If you must spend, only support small local businesses. So it means I can go to McDonald's. It means I can go to Burger King. If it's a Black-owned McDonald's, it's a small business.
But let me back that track up. Only buy essentials or absolute necessity. Who are you telling me what I need to do and buy? I mean, it's like, wait a minute, hold on. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling. I mean, do you get it though? I mean, how are you gonna tell me where I should and should not buy and when I should buy it?
Well,
you are not my daddy. I'm just sorry.
Well,
I mean, it's like, okay, when you do fast and they tell you what you shouldn't be doing during fast, but I'm like, how in the world are we saying this? But anyway.
But my next favorite part is this here. Why this matters. Corporations and banks only care about their bottom line. Disrupting the economy for even one day sends a powerful message. If they don't listen, we make the next blackout longer. Our numbers are powerful, and this is how we make history. Let me stop right there and let y'all know something. Every single one of us, if you have any kind of business, insurance, any kind of thing, anything, guess what? They invest in these corporations. So your car insurance company, your life insurance company, your burial insurance company, they invest in these retailers. So you're sending them a message, but it's also going to affect your portfolio. So let's not assume that Black folk don't have a portfolio. If you have life insurance, any kind of insurance, you have a portfolio, 401k, there is somebody investing your money somewhere. Mm-hmm. So you're sending a strong message to bring my portfolio down. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what it boils down to. Mm-hmm. At the end, corporations, if they're publicly held, they're publicly held, meaning that the people own it. It would have been more powerful, in my opinion, if the blackout would have been like, we're going to black in. We're going to buy. See, if I was at that level where I can organize a protest, I'm going to black in. I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna let's put some money into these corporations so we can have a voice. because everybody gets a proxy vote. I have a little bit of shares in one company, corporation, which split into 3 companies. I'm a voting proxy. I can proxy vote for the board. So you, even some companies, their structure, you had the power. Just the power is owning shares in the company. Not, well, we're going to hurt them financially. No.
Our people perish for the lack of knowledge.
Right. So
I mean, that's wisdom.
yeah.
I mean, instead of blacking out, then black in buy shares of the company. Yeah, well, that's the reason why PD's up in jail now, because he was talking about trying to buy NFL team, but
No, by that and a network.
So yeah.
So
So they don't want you. They don't want you to do that. They don't want you to buy into their business.
right.
They just want you to spend the money there. Now, if you really want to talk about something like that, then yeah, let's deal with that. Not just because they're talking about, well, they don't care about the black people and they don't care about DI. They don't want to do DI. Technically, DI had nothing to do with the last years that they've been doing this thing. What programs did you know that they did that benefited it? Nothing.
Yeah,
You know, stuff like that should be already done.
because
But
this whole thing is over DEI, including Pastor Bryant. Don't get me boycotting Target again. I really guess I've been boycotting unconsciously Target
I know.
since we haven't worked there. And I mean, I used to work for Target.
You're
Target
right.
is expensive.
I had, and I was saying that I said this before a couple of podcasts ago. I stopped. I haven't gone to Target in years until my daughter started working there, and even then, yeah. Anyway, and so
Target ain't
and
changed.
right, and that was just couple of years ago.
Well, that was a year and a half.
A year and a half ago.
Yeah,
So
they haven't changed.
yeah, they haven't changed. And so technically we shouldn't even be shopping there anyway.
Yeah, for those of y'all who don't know the inside, Target has got some issues.
Right.
DEI is more than their issues.
I mean,
Maybe if anybody wants to be a candidate for DEI, maybe they should be, because they had DEI and it was still the same culture that's still there.
And merchandising has changed a lot down through the years.
That's all that they added.
And because of inflation and all that, a lot of merchandise and their branding has shrunk a whole lot. And so, and then they end up having to incorporate the grocery section. So there's always a positive in some form or way of shopping these particular areas. If you have a Target card, okay, I got a Target card. Well, I ain't got no money, but I have a Target card. I'm going to go over here to Target and buy some groceries. Okay. That's one of the things you can do. But yeah.
And pay 30% more because it's at a Target. Some items are 30.
Sometimes,
items, are a little bit higher than going to Kroger. Which, you know, what we should also be talking about. You know, we're talking about the blackout, the boycotts. Okay, let's go back to the fact that let's look at Black History Month is over. We really should have spent more time talking about the positive of Black history, such as we were the most prosperous people up to, I believe, the 1950s. Is, you know, we were still purchasing within our own community. We're supporting each other. We had a lot more Black-owned business than we do today. We were doing really well. We were prospering as a people, but then they started doing handouts and all this, and then we have generations of people who say, "Well, I don't want to go into, I don't want to be a business owner, so I just want to go work for the man." And we sort of surrendered our power. So we can sort of say, "Oh, we had buying power." Now we've had trillions of our buying power goes back to decades. That's how come people say, "Oh, we have so many $1 trillion buying power," but that is not the annual. That's not yearly. That's per.
Black people I'm sorry, baby, because it just came to me. That's the reason why Black people in certain areas are in debt.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to realize that too, because you're saying the buying power, and we're going to be going to the next topic, talk about that too. But you know.
Look, our
full disclosure here. Our daughter.
Are you going to say what I'm getting ready to say?
Our daughter, because of her birthday, she got a gift. She told us it was a birthday gift. She didn't pay for herself, but okay. She got some Jordans.
And I said, "Those are $300 shoes." And she said, "4."
And I'm like, oh my God.
Goodness gracious.
Can I give you your card note bill? You know what I'm saying? It's
a gift would be give us the money to pay your car note, because we do disclosure. We pay her car note.
Right. And so she's talking about, it was a gift. I'm like, Yeah, it's her birthday. You know, Rain has done a lot for her friends, and
Yeah.
yeah. So if it was a gift from a friend, yeah, they better give it to her. I ain't gonna lie
If
about
y'all
that.
listening, we ain't lying. But the next time y'all
However,
need to also give some money to the parents because we still
because she's
support them.
right. It wasn't because it wasn't for her doing this. It was because of us doing it for her to give it
Yeah,
to you. But anyway,
we support her. We support her. Now we may have to talk about that part of parenting one day. We support her with her car insurance. Well, we'll go into that when we talk about car insurance. We support her with her car note. And we told her when she got the car. Now, people who are parents know this. Oh, I'm gonna help pay for it. I'm gonna help pay for it. Okay, we're like, okay, we're gonna do this.
Right.
But you promise you're gonna help pay for it. Yeah, I promise. They make one car note payment and we done pay the rest.
Right. That's it.
I mean, it's like
it,
okay.
I mean, but you know, it's like okay, she's going to school.
Right.
Okay, we go to school, and then it was like okay, she finished school. Then she said, "Well, I don't want to do this." I said, "Okay, you know what? I ain't spending no money. I'm going back to school." Okay, you know, so it was always something. Or then she ended up not getting another she having a job again in order to do it. So it was always something. And when you're not in accountability, when you're young, okay, yeah, we already told her how old she was. There's no accountability. So yeah,
it happens. That's one of the parts about being a parent, and you still love your children because they're going to test you at times, and you just deal with it. So you have another item you're bringing up.
Yeah,
bring that up.
This is also another rundown. I guess you can't see the top. It says economic blackout tour.
Really?
They call it a tour.
Really?
Blackout tour. But anyway, so 28th, of course, was economic blackout. And then we got the Amazon totally blackout between a full week. And as you can see, as it goes down, the second one is going to be April 18th, the full blackout 2. General Mills. How are you going to black out General Mills? People don't.
Well, first of all, we're going to talk about a blackout. Let's say this. We're going to talk about all these blackouts. How about blacking out all these companies that took black people off their products? No, Uncle Ben's, Aunt Jamina. Then they took away the Land O'Lakes girl. Well, 1% of them who agreed with the mess. In my opinion, you're going to do a blackout. Let's black out the fact that y'all took black people off the boxes, but yet I believe Little Debbie is still sitting on her box. But yet you guys want to do all these blackouts. Now, let me add on to these boycotts. Now, I'm gonna say this. Now, I don't want to hurt y'all little feelings on this. Sorry to call it little feelings, but I don't want to hurt your feelings on this. You're trying to boycott global corporations. You think, well, we got 15%, we can hurt them. We're not hurting them. There's billions of people on this planet who use Amazon. In fact, if you're watching us, depending on what platform you're watching us on, we're going through an Amazon server to be seen. Almost if you like Netflix, they're probably going through an Amazon server. You like Hulu, they're probably going through an Amazon server. Everything you like your social media, this social media, I guess Blue Sky or whatever, they're going through an Amazon server. So you're talking about we're going to hurt. Right. We're going to show Amazon. Amazon controls a bulk of the internet. It's just like, so you're going after a company that's one, that's global, two, that you're utilizing their services to push your stuff because is again lack of knowledge. So a boycott of everybody's thinking about the Bud Light it's a success. Bud Light's not an international beverage.
Bud Light was it was a product. You're talking about a product.
And it's not international.
Right. You're talking about a corporate America, corporate businesses, global businesses. Sam's Club. I was watching a Chinese program and they had Sam's Club in China. So they have KFC. They have. And you got to realize you're talking about DEI companies who are supporting DEI. But why do you think they're supporting it? It's not because and technically DEI wasn't really made for black people.
No.
But
okay, I don't know. Go look up who it benefits. You can Google it. Everybody knows.
However, the only reason why these companies were doing it was because of a tax break. They were getting tax break. They were getting tax dollars or they were getting a tax break for incorporating certain things in the business. Now, it's programs. It has nothing to do with product placements in the store, nothing like that. That's standard. That's standard procedure. That's something that should be already done. It's about programs set up. Okay, well, in order for me to
Quotas.
get right, in order for me to get a tax dollar on this particular community.
We need to hire this many.
No,
Oh, wasn't it? Okay.
no, it was. Let's set up a program, an outreach program, and then we will say, well, okay, we have an outreach program, and we're going to set up that. That's what it was. Because you got to realize, if you go to Walmart, if you go to Target, if you go to all these other places,
their money back to the community.
right? And, so they right. So and they get in a tax break off of that. But if you go there, black people, everybody works at these retailers. Because they work there. So it's not like you're saying I'm not going to do it. Or if you feel that because they removed the DEI, because and that's meaning that they're removing all black products off the shelf, that doesn't mean that either.
Now, if they were doing that, if there was a black product and they said we're removing all the black products, then you can probably
we got something to talk about. Right.
I mean, most of these companies,
you don't even know what they're
DEI
doing.
was cultural. It was not a product. I mean, they're going to still bring in black products. They're still going to bring these products in.
But you never even gave them a chance to figure out the chance to change or try to do something without having to do it because they had to in order to get a tax break.
Let me explain to you what DEI was. DEI was one pillar of another movement that was heading our way. It's called the social credit score. I'm going to just put it out there. The social credit score is a government. They were first starting with businesses. So business had to fall into DEI, climate change, and there's one more pillar in there. And then they were going to actually start applying, it was environmental. So it was part of, DEI was part of that. It had nothing really to do, it dealt with their credit score. So there is a credit score that corporations have based on the programs that they did. Right. So they say, okay, we'll remove the DEI tenet because people don't like it because they really never explained to y'all what it was. It's not equality, it's equity. Equity means that everybody gets a piece of pie. No matter if you work for it or not, everybody is equal. They're all going to get a piece of this pie. No matter if you want that pie or not, everybody's going to get that piece of pie. Where equality is, everybody's going to have to work. They have the equal opportunity to get their own pie. But equity is saying we're going to give everybody this pie and they don't have to work for it. They don't have to do anything for it. That's equity. I'm not saying DEI was that. However, the social credit score was coming to us, to the individuals, where based on how well you do this, how well you do that, they were developing this. This is stuff that was going on. I'm putting my tinfoil hat on because I know some people say that's not true. Well, no matter what, they were building up into a social credit score system to the individuals. They already had it for the businesses, and they were just ramping it up. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in the corporate world that if because my suggestion again, like I said, be a black end, buy stock in these companies, and guess what you get? You get the annual reports, you get to read everything that business is doing, you get access to all that data. Even if you're not a stockholder, go to these websites and go to corporate and go read what they're doing, because that stuff is all public information. If it's a publicly traded company, everything they do is available publicly. So you can read what their DEI initiatives were, what did they do. So it's not like the problem is you don't know what they're doing because you're trusting the media is going to tell you what they're doing when all it takes is a few minutes to go to Costco's website. Who's maintaining the DEI? And we were talking about that earlier. Said, I mean, well, people said, yeah, they still have theirs. I'm like, that's fine. I mean, we're Costco members, and most of the people who work at the Costco have been there over 10 years. I haven't seen any new people there. Everybody's been there for 10 years.
Yeah. And people everybody mad at Target, especially when those can I see it?
No, we can't say those. We can't say that one for Cashmere. Okay. Because I can tell you this. On the Cashmere side, we say stuff a little differently because on social media we don't want to hurt anybody. Y'all sometimes people get into their hurt side, and but on Cashmere, it's not us. The AI mutes us from saying what we want to say.
I always live for the next day and say, "Oh, we're muted. Let's see where they muted us at."
Yeah. So when we get muted, we're like, "What did we say this time?"
Right, and with some super stuff too. But anyway.
Said something about a pet name for our child, and they muted us.
But one thing I would say though, if a corporate business, one thing about DEI, it did help bring more awareness of what people were going through, or certain communities were going through, in nature, stuff like that. So it kind of more or less was looking, showing light. I remember a while back, and somebody was telling me that they knew somebody who had an issue with a certain group of people. Okay, and they didn't know why, and it was kind of to a point where he had to take he went to a class or something in order to make sure to figure out what was going on. So yeah, stuff like that, it does help in those areas.
Right.
Not necessarily having to make sure that my product is on the shelf. No, it does give some form of educating people about, or more knowledge, excuse me, I don't want to say educate, but more knowledge to people, or wisdom to people, understanding how other race of people or other community of people or group of people feel. But if you're only gearing it towards a certain race, but yet you're not thinking about who are you trying to, the back end of the thing.
Well, back in the day, now because people say, well, DEI is new. No, it's not. They just gave it a name
And gave it a different.
It was used to be called, you had to take diversity classes, then you had to take sexual harassment, and tolerance courses.
Right.
So those were the three things. So what they did is they said, well, let's give it the academia said, oh, well,
And that's reason
let's give it a cool name: diversity, equity, and inclusion.
And that's the reason why it's not always towards
Black people. It's basically diversity is always, it's been around since the 90s. Sexual harassment courses and all this stuff, it's been around since the 90s. It's not new. Just they gave it a name that academia created, which academia sometimes needs to stay out of the social sphere. I know some people say, well, no, academia sometimes needs to stay out and let things happen organically, and that's what happened. Academia got involved as usual, and they decided to jump in. One thing I want to do real quick, I know we were going to save it for later. I'm going to jump in real quick and say one of the other things people are upset about. I guess we can say that for later. I was going to talk about how they're talking about how they're pulling money away, but that would be Doge. So I'm going to save that for later if we had time, because I got something to say about that, how they said, oh, this group here needs to get their money, but hopefully I can remember it. But let's go to our next part so we can get to that. Money over luxury. Right. I guess I can talk about it there in the money over luxury. So money over luxury, there's a lot of people complaining about, especially how they've canceled a lot of things from the USAID or USAID. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people say, oh, this group is not getting this group is not getting that, this group is not getting this. Okay, but you know what? Yeah, this will fit here. You have all these high-end celebrities, A-listers. Mm-hmm. They have foundations. Mm-hmm. You have former presidents who have foundations. Why don't you reach in your pocket and do it? Mm-hmm. That's your job. It's not the government's job. And let me give you all an example. I wish I would have pulled up the video. Our pastor, Apostle Wayne T. Jackson, went overseas. He went to Africa. You know what? I can probably pull up the video. He went to Abeshua, and he, through our ministry, through our giving as a people, we, the people of Great Faith Ministries, we went to Abeshua, took these gifts. These are just some of the clips of what they did. Mm-hmm. We sent a container truck to Abeshua. Mm-hmm. We didn't go over there. We didn't say, hey, USAID, we need your help. Mm-hmm. We did it. Mm-hmm. And then I don't have the clip when he was on the news, but our apostle told us, he said, people are like, the guy in the media was like, well, what's in it for you? He just laughed at it because we're doing the work of God. So everybody sat up here complaining and saying, oh, well, these people don't have this, they don't have that. This is what our ministry did. You can see that right down there. This is what our ministry did. As a people, we came together. We went out to the stores. We went and purchased the products. Then we got it shipped over there to Abeshua. So for anybody saying, oh, well,
did you have that one for the library?
This right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me play that, and we'll bring that in. And there it is. That's the computer lab that was built.
Now, the reason why it has to have their name on it, because of certain, if they don't put a name on there, then other politicians or other people will come in and try to take credit for it. Right. So he had to put his name on there in order
Everything, the
on
desk,
everything,
everything, the building.
the chair. So you can see how the desk there has his name on it. The chair.
Yep.
That's because he didn't want credit. He didn't say, "Look, I'm doing this for the people," but they told him. They said, "If you don't do it, then anybody else could come in there and put their name on it and say they're the ones who did it." So that's the reason why he had
Yeah,
to put it.
and that was for the Horace Jackson,
Mhm.
basically library. It's
Mhm.
named after his dad.
Right.
He gave honor to his father, but that's where people say, "What's he got to do money over luxury?" Those people don't have anything.
Nothing.
They have nothing.
And there are now it's true that there are certain areas because again there is poverty level and then of course
There's wealth.
there's wealth and then
And the wealth
I
is
don't
in
know
the
if I don't even know if it's in
city.
I don't even know if it's
It's in
right.
the inner city. It's not
Right. Then then I guess they may have some middle to upper class.
do.
But however, you're
Where
talking about poverty level people who are just living and not even living in means. They just trying to live and survive. They had no running water. They had no sewage system. They had to go into the back of in the back of their in the forest basically
and go to the
they had to go
bathroom.
in the bathroom and poop there. And they were saying the smell was so bad. So as a ministry of a whole and donations from our supporters of the ministry, we were able to do this for us, and it's a pleasure and an honor to do things.
And we contributed too.
Right, and it was a pleasure and honor to do these things in order to help people. But again, going to the money over luxury, you're talking about menial dollars, and people were complaining that these celebrities were riding in Honda Civics when they should be riding in Ferraris and what is it? It's like you're gonna have to have money if you continue to spend out. When tax season come around, you got to pay that stuff back.
Right. And real quick, let me go back in there. That's the paramount chief. That's the chief of chiefs. That's the main chief. That's the head chief of all the chiefs. That's the chief of chiefs. But yeah, like you're saying, people are complaining that a celebrity is driving a Honda Civic
To a workout. Not to work out, but to
the stadium.
To the stadium. I mean, it's cold outside.
Look.
He's like, why am I going to drive it? But I knew one football player. He bought a house for his mom, but he had to cut expense, so he took the house back.
Yeah, because you tax it. See, a lot of athletes, I'm gonna buy my mama this really big house. Okay, but let me tell you something, my friend. Just buy your mother a home,
or just at least buy out her mortgage,
or buy out the mortgage where she's at, or buy her a nice home in an area that's an affordable tax rate.
Because you talking about he can buy his mother a $10 million mansion, or he can buy a $10 million. Look.
The taxes alone,
right? The mansion alone is easy. It's talking about the upkeep. You're talking about the electric bill. You're talking about the gas bill. You're talking about all that stuff. Maintenance, yard lawn maintenance. They were talking about that with the housing when they were buying houses for people. American House, American. Oh wow!
When it comes back to, I can tell you, so as property owners, we know we get a bill twice a year bill. We get one in the summer, and we get one in the winter. And if you don't pay, they go kick you out your house. It's called property taxes.
Right.
In this house, they send you an assessment letter every year. Right around tax season, you get an assessment letter. This is how much we're assessing your property at this year. And that assessment equates to how much they're going to charge you in taxes. And so, so you buy your mother a $10 million home, but it can be assessed higher. This is what got a celebrity in trouble, or somebody got in trouble. They got upset because they bought a house and it was assessed. They assessed it lower than its actual value. And technically that means they said that they were cheating on the taxes because it was assessed lower. I think that was the Trump case on his property. But then a celebrity was when people yah-yahing and complaining and said, well, guess what? You did the same thing. You assessed your property lower than its actual value. Therefore, you sold it at a lower amount, but it was actually supposed to be assessed higher. Therefore, when you sold it, you paid less taxes than if you would have assessed it at the proper level. So yeah, taxes, we got to pay property taxes, and that's what gets us. And
they was talking about this American House. it was a ABC show, and the guy comes out, and people were having when mothers families were having trouble with their home or whatever, they'll come out and build a house. It was like 20 years ago.
Oh yeah, when they
And
come fix up
right,
homes.
right.
Oh yeah.
And what happened was they may have gave them all this free stuff, these extra additional, adding on to the house and
They
making
made
made
the
it
value go
it
up.
made the value go up. Not only the value of the property go up, also that they said the electric bill went up. They said they were having problems paying $1,000 on a mortgage. They paid off the mortgage, but then when it came to the electric bill, the gas bill, it was almost 10,000 a month on it, just
Yeah,
that
you're thinking
alone.
about. I know what show you're talking about because that's the show where Plumber's son
Right,
worked on, and
right. So
yeah, they
yeah,
would come in and redo your house, and no, he said, oh, they came and remodeled my house. Yeah, you need to, if they remodel your house, you got to make sure that they can give you a basically give you a waiver on your taxes. Let your
hmm
taxes be waived for X amount of years because the problem is if you do any additions or any changes to your house, it changes the
tax
taxable
bracket.
value. So what you were normally going to pay is going to be higher than it would normally be, if you didn't pay the tax, basically going to raise your taxes. And that's exactly what they do.
Right. And so, but going back, right. So they were even, let's go back with Kendrick Lamar. He bought his sister or niece, somebody, a Toyota. And people complain about that. They were like, oh, well, he should have been able to buy her a luxury vehicle, luxury car. Look, you talk about gas, you talk about maintenance. It's different than if you're trying to get him a Bentley. It's different than that because you're talking about whole nother. You can't just take your Bentley to the drive-through oil change shops. No, So you're talking about another expense there. You're talking about upkeep. You're talking about all that stuff. So yeah, if she got a brand new Toyota, I mean, yeah, high end. I'll take that over anything. So you can't. And that's how they keep money in their pocket.
Right.
We as and you talking about blackout, that's the problem. We need to stop spending, period, on these stuff. We just need to spend only on essential items, okay? Anyway. But of course, you're talking about but yeah, and still we out here trying to keep up with the Kardashians or whatever you want to call it,
Right.
or our celebrity so and so.
Remember
Yeah.
lifestyle. See what happened is lifestyles of the rich and famous. I forgot his name.
Robin Leach.
Robin Leach started this whole mess. It started with lifestyles of the rich and famous. Then it went to Pimp. What's the other one they did? MTV did one with the MTV rat on the homes or something they did, and those weren't even their homes.
No,
That's just so bad. They
right.
rented them.
Some people rented their homes. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they were showing this lifestyle that wasn't really their lifestyle, and so that was common. That was very common for people. People assume that, oh well, you're rich, you can do this, but you can't. Everybody wants a Bentley. It's like, okay, can you afford the insurance on the Bentley?
I remember about 30 years ago, when I was in my 20s, and we were just sitting around talking, and we were talking about how people were saying that they want a Mercedes, and we were like, well, if you work at McDonald's, you can't get Mercedes, and people are like trying to justify the fact that, yeah, you can. You don't. I'm like, you save up enough, and I'm like, if you. You cannot get a Mercedes, a brand new Mercedes, working at McDonald's. Unfortunately, well, we're not gonna go there because, yeah, my daughter's friend, well, she got to use one, but anyway, but she put a lot down on it too.
Yeah,
so
it was actually 10 years, 12 years old.
So but I'm talking about
they want a new one.
They're talking about brand new, and I'm like, no, it's not gonna happen. Not when it comes to the upkeep. Not when it comes to all this. It's not gonna happen. Insurance and.
Because that's the one
and that's
thing.
another thing, a problem with what's going on even now. Insurance, car insurance. Yeah, we ain't even gonna talk about that.
Yeah, insurance. See, when people,
I'm ready to drop a car. That's
the whole thing. Money over luxury. People are saying, "Oh, you gotta get this. You're gonna have that. You got all this money. You can afford this." The thing is, if you don't, a lot of athletes, they don't. Some of them are not at that. They're young, and some of them are not wise enough to realize, okay, what happens when the game is over? I mean, what happens when you get injured? I mean, we know this in our family. We know this. I'm just gonna say it. I have a professional athlete. I have a professional athlete, my cousin. my cousin's a professional athlete for the LA Rams. He got hurt. So what happens? I got to check on him. However, not using him as an example, but say he can't go back. You got the money, so now what? So this is the whole point when it comes to being a professional athlete. Now, he lives modestly because he was raised modestly, but there are some who are franchise athletes. Right. The franchise athlete is making 10, 20, 30 million dollars in their contract. That's they have the money.
The franchising, right.
And now as a franchise player, you now have to figure out, okay, how can I make this money grow? So that's when you have smart business managers, because you may make 10, 30 million dollars, but you got to figure already 40% of that's gone. It's gone. Right. It's gone. If it's a 5-year, $30 million contract, that's $6 million a year. You're probably going to be your bring home is probably going to be less than that after taxes, because you got to pay taxes for each state that you play in. Then you got to pay all your fees to your management team, everybody who over you. So you may make $3 million a year, but you may only bring home $1 million. Because there's celebrities who complained about that.
Right. Did you just say that you had to pay taxes in each single state that you go to when you're celebrities
and city.
Right. When these celebrities go play in other states, they have to pay that state tax also,
and the city tax, and the county if the county has tax,
whatever taxes they have, and plus the tax in their own state. So that's another thing. People don't think about that too when they talk about celebrities. So yeah, I'm gonna pull up in my Honda Civic.
Right. And so and that's the reason why celebrities
I'm quite sure he probably had another car at home, but I'm just saying.
They have a luxury car, but your A-list celebrities, that's why they're always working. That's why you see them doing 5, 6, 7 movies a year when they're on top. They always cranking out films. If you go to IMDb, you see some celebrities who are top A-listers. They're doing 60, 70 films, and they're already 10 years in. They're doing that because that residual check, because I know someone who gets a residual check. And he did one TV series, he did one episode, he got a penny check. Even though, that he's a retired actor, but he got a 1 cent from that. Said it costs you more to mail the check than what's on it. So these celebrities are always working because they have to live off those residuals. Those residual checks, depending on your level, depending on the show, you can get several $1,000s a quarter. You can get hundreds. You can get 6 figures a quarter. That's how a lot of them have to live. That's why you have a lot of your B-level celebrities living in condos, small homes. They don't even live in Hollywood. They live in the area that they can afford, because at the end of the day, you got insurance. It's the number one thing that's getting us is our utilities and insurance. Those utilities, and you can outright buy a home, and you can handle your property taxes, but every month you get an insurance bill, you're getting a utility bill, and those things are going up. We were just talking about ours. We have what they consider, we're a state that they do gradual, basically time-based insurance, your insurance utilities, meaning that they charge you based on time of day, which means, and she's like, why is our winter bill? Because they're charging us based on this time. Now, the days are shorter in the winter. So you'll have your lights on earlier. You're going to have your utilities on. So I think it was 6 o'clock is when the evening part, which is lower, starts. So it gets dark at around, in the peak of winter, it's getting dark at 4 or 5. So you want me to stay in a dark house until off peak. And it's ridiculous.
Right. I think I got this light on. I'm not ready to take it off. But anyway.
Well, see, our lights are all LED, and these are the lights for our studio, ironically, are low power, so we don't pull that much power in our studio. Maybe you should put our studio lights all over the house or battery operated.
You had that, I don't know if you want to move on to it together. I don't know if you had another topic.
We have another topic, but we just really don't have time to go into that topic. So
closing remarks.
Yeah, so I'm about to hit our closing remarks, and I'm trying to find out what number that is. One day I'm gonna put the numbers on here, that sheet of paper that tells what number they are.
You had that thing you had up. I can't.
Oh, this one right here.
Yeah.
I was laughing at that. I'm gonna bring that up. That was that I was looking at that. I was like, that's kind of funny here. Let's see.
So this one said my Instacart driver was a man. He got my order 100% correct, and all my grocery bags smell like weed. I kid you not. That happened to me. And it was like, but it was the bag smelled it, so they didn't get into the food. And I remember we ordered pizza.
Yeah, we never went back to that pizza place.
And the pop bottle, the bottle, the liter pop. If you touch it, your hands smell like weed. So it's like even if you pick up the pizza and try to eat it, it's like you have to literally wash it. I'm like, and I called them. I said, hey, look, this stuff smelling like weed. And they're like, well, we have nothing to do about that. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
And that was before that's back when the only way you can get weed was through a card. And
Yeah,
then
that had nothing to do with that. That was street weed.
yeah,
Okay?
that was off the street because that was strong.
And he was like, "Oh, we had nothing to do with that." So I'm thinking to myself, they probably don't hire these drivers. They probably are like they just do it as tips.
Well, on this particular for that place, I think he was hired because he was there.
Right?
Instacart.
But that happened to. I said that happened to me. The bag smelled like weed, but however, the groceries inside the bag was okay. So, but I was talking about this. It was happening a few years back, and this place is not even open anymore. It was a pizza place that was not open anymore.
Yeah, they're closed.
And we stopped going there because look, if you can't look, I ain't got no problem with y'all want to smoke y'all weed. That's fine, but don't sit there and put it next to your whole car seat or blanket. I don't know that, and it's like, ew.
Keep your weed to yourself,
right? Basically, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Keep that stuff to yourself. So yeah. Before we go out, indiemovietickets.com for Hosanna the movie. Register. It's free to register. We're just trying to get a head count to see how many people may be interested in the re-release. It'll be coming around April, Mayish. I know it's talking about the Holy Weeks, not Holy Weeks, but during Resurrection. But however, it could be April or May. It's a nice program, nice show. It's family friendly, family oriented. You have forgiveness, you have redemption, you have a little romance.
You might cry.
And you might cry, you might be happy, you might smile. So indiemovietickets.com.
And I want to also add in, we do not sell your data.
No.
So by you registering, we're not doing like one person that we know they're collecting your data and they're selling it because your data can be sold for like $15 to $20 per account. We're not selling your data. So you don't have to worry about us selling your data. We're not data farmers. We don't really want to, we're not trying to make money off of your data. If we ever did do that, we will tell you. But we are not data farmers. We're not selling your data. So register on there and just give us a head count. Let us know if you're going or not. So that way we can really know if we're going to do this. Now, we do know people may tell us verbally that, hey, we were interested. We are getting ready to meet with the other executive producer. He wants to meet. So I think he wants to also release it. So we'll see. We shall see how it works. But anyway, as we're getting ready to close out, I want you all to remember to subscribe, get us on Spotify. You can even write us a letter if you're old school. P.O. Box 1827, Garden City, Michigan, 48136. We won't talk about the fact that they keep raising that rent too on the P.O. boxes.
I should find that meme again. We're talking about people just can't do nothing.
Right.
No amount of budget or not eating at a restaurant will make up for the fact that we do not make enough money anywhere for this economy.
Exactly. So I have one thing I would put up, but anyway, we're out of time. As usual, I'm Darnell.
And I'm Angela.
Thank you for watching Garrison House, and see you all next week. I think we messed up somewhere.
You're the one who was kind of fast.